If you've watched Alaska: The Last Frontier, you know it's more than just a reality show. It's a glimpse into a tough world where survival is tough and every day is an adventure. One standout character is Jane Kilcher, the determined fisherwoman who faces Alaska's toughest challenges with a smile or a quick remark. Recently, fans have been wondering what happened to Jane Kilcher. One day, everything seemed fine. Rumors about the Kilcher homestead are spreading quickly. Some people think it's a family issue, while others speculate about new projects. A few even suggest that she may have left Alaska. Let's explore the ups and downs of Jane Kilcher's life. Her story is as wild and unpredictable as Alaska itself. Jane wasn't just another reality TV star, she played a key role in many memorable moments on Alaska: The Last Frontier. Jane Kilcher was a strong and genuine presence, whether she was fishing or debating with family. She was the kind of friend anyone would want in tough situations, like being lost in the Alaskan wilderness. Tough, funny, and caring, she provided support to viewers facing the challenges of homesteading. Although Jane wasn't born into the famous Kilcher family, she became an important part of their story when she joined the show Alaska: The Last Frontier. Atlee Kilcher's wife, Jane, knew how to succeed in a tough environment, and she had her own unique style. She grew up in Homer, Alaska, close to the Kilcher homestead. Unlike the rest of the Kilcher family, who focused on farming and hunting, Jane was an expert fisherwoman. Living near the ocean gave her special skills that allowed her to catch fish when others couldn't, and she brought that talent to the show. Jane often took the lead in various situations. Jane was not only responsible for catching fresh fish for her family in the tough Alaskan wilderness, but she also played an important role in the show. Watching her catch big salmon or skillfully manage the icy waters was truly captivating. Besides fishing, Jane added a much-needed balance to the show. Her humor and quick wit helped lighten the atmosphere, especially in contrast to the serious Kilcher men. Whether she was teasing Ole or making jokes during stressful moments, Jane had a special way of connecting with the audience. Jane was genuine and open about her fears and moments of feeling overwhelmed, which is uncommon in the tough environment of Alaskan survival. She also connected the modern world to the Kilcher lifestyle, having lived outside of it for a time. This gave her a unique viewpoint on the show. Even though she didn't grow up in this way of life, she fully accepted it, showing that you don't need a long family history of homesteading to succeed in the wild. Her ability to relate to others is what made her stand out. Fans support Jane, but her life hasn't been easy. Like Alaska's changing weather, her experiences have included both good and bad times. From family disagreements to personal challenges, Jane's life away from the spotlight has been as interesting as what was shown on television. Over time, she grew more private about her personal life. She often felt frustrated being seen only as Atlee's wife or a fisherwoman, believing there was much more to her story beyond the cameras. Jane is a strong, independent woman and a caring mother to her daughter, Piper. She values her privacy even though she is often in the spotlight. In 2023, her life took an unexpected turn with her surprising divorce from Ole Kilcher. How did Jane go from being a popular star on a reality TV show about the Alaskan frontier to facing tough challenges in the public eye? It's not just about living the dream. Jane's journey is more complicated than that. Unexpected changes can be both good and tough. Jane was a standout personality on Alaska: The Last Frontier. As the show became more popular, more attention was focused on her personal life, which made things complicated. At first, she was happy with how the show showed her as a skilled fisherwoman. It's true that she is great at fishing. However, as time went on, she felt limited by that single portrayal. She wanted to show that she was more than just someone who could catch fish. Jane is a complex person with many different sides, but the show didn't always show all of them. Instead, her character often seemed flat and overshadowed by the Kilcher men and their stories. Jane was more than just a fish catcher. She was a mother and a wife with much to offer. She has shared her frustration about how she was portrayed in interviews. The stereotype of her as just a fisherwoman stuck, and Jane was not pleased with that. The way the show edited Jane Kilcher's story didn't fully show who she really is. They left out her challenges, tough choices, and personal growth that happened behind the scenes. She was more than just a woman on a fishing boat, but that's how she was often portrayed. Let's examine how Jane's true character got overlooked on Alaska: The Last Frontier. This happened because the show focused more on some family members than others. The Kilcher family is large and varied, much like Alaska. There's A.T.S. Kilcher, the tough and experienced father. His son, A.T.S. Lee Kilcher, is adventurous and a bit of a rebel, but also loves the land deeply. Then there's Jane, who seems to balance the serious nature of the Kilcher men. She's strong, capable, and steady, giving her an important place in the family. However, as the show progressed, her role began to change. The show Alaska: The Last Frontier mostly focuses on the tough, adventurous Kilcher men, who are often the stars as they face challenges in the wilderness and take risks. Jane, however, tends to take a back seat, often playing a secondary role in the overall story of survival. Editing didn't help Jane much. While the show highlighted the struggles and emotions of the men, Jane's challenges and successes were often overlooked or simplified to just her role as a fisherwoman. As for Jane's husband, A.T.S. Lee, he's a complicated person. On camera, he's shown as a brave and adventurous son of A.T.Z. Kilcher. He's a free spirit and often disagrees with the family's traditional ways. He frequently finds himself in the spotlight dealing with his personal issues. Wildside has a strong bond with nature, but off-screen, there's more to the story between A.T.S. Lee and Janie. Like any couple, they had their challenges. However, on the show, it seemed like A.T.S. Lee didn't engage as much with Jane's story as he should have. His own dramatic and personal struggles often took the focus away from hers. In reality, Jane was managing everything. She was a mom, a wife, and a capable homesteader, but the show didn't always show her efforts. Jane quietly supported her family while A.T.S. Lee was busy with his adventures, like fighting bears or dealing with his past. She managed the home and took care of everyone without seeking attention. The show's editing focused more on the dramatic personalities of the Kilcher men, featuring their struggles, while Jane's life was often overlooked. This doesn't mean Jane wasn't talented, she just didn't get the recognition she deserved as the show continued. As time went on, people began to notice signs of family problems. The Kilchers appeared close, but there were hints of disagreements and issues among them. Rumors of fights between Jane and some other family members often made news. Living in the spotlight makes even small issues seem big. Jane faced criticism due to reports that she wasn't getting along with some relatives, which added to the family drama surrounding the show. However, the surprising part is that many fans also stood by her. They saw her true self on social media, a caring mother who shares laughter with her kids and faces personal struggles that aren't always visible. Eventually, the criticism turned into strong support for her. As people understood that TV shows only show a small part of someone's life, they supported the real Jane, not just the simple version shown on TV. Throughout everything, Jane has stayed strong. She has balanced her role on the show with the challenges it caused. More importantly, she has built a life outside of the camera that is not shaped by stereotypes or editing. Instead of letting what people think of her bring her down, she used it to her advantage. Jane was known as the fish-catching queen of Alaska, but she has become much more. She has battled against being misunderstood and created her own way in life, showing everyone what true strength looks like. Her real challenge came after a serious accident that changed everything we thought we knew about her. Thriving in Alaska's unforgiving wilderness ended up in a real-life survival story of his own in 2015 while hiking with a buddy. O.T.S. Lee took a nasty fall off a steep cliff. We're talking about a serious tumble. He broke a bunch of bones, his arm, leg, ribs, and who knows what else. And things looked pretty grim for a while. He had to undergo a long recovery process. As we all know, when someone close to you goes through something like that, it puts a strain on everything, relationships, routines, emotions. Jane, though, didn't. Instead of backing down, she really stepped up to help Ole recover while also keeping everything running smoothly at home. That's when Jane truly showed her strength. It wasn't showy, but it was very genuine. However, around this time, rumors about their marriage started to spread. The accident put a lot of stress on their relationship, leaving people wondering if they could handle not just the physical recovery, but also the emotional challenges they were facing. There are concerns about marital problems between Jane and Lee. People say their once strong partnership is struggling, with Jane feeling lonely and Lee dealing with his own issues. Being in the public eye makes it hard to find peace and heal. However, Jane has stayed calm and hasn't shared details with tabloids or gotten involved in public arguments. Instead, she's focused on her family and supporting Lee when it matters, even though there are still rumors going around. Many people questioned whether the Kilcher marriage was as strong as it seemed or if it was facing problems. This was a tough time for Ole, who was used to being strong, independent, and in control. He was not just recovering from an accident, he was also adjusting to a change in his sense of self. Lee had to learn to live differently, relying on Jane more than he ever had before. This change affected him both physically and emotionally. There was a change in the relationship between Lee and Jane. Lee had always been the adventurous one, while Jane was the reliable support. However, after the accident, everything changed. Lee, who used to be strong and independent, now relied on Jane more than ever. This shift was difficult for both of them. Lee found it hard to accept help from his wife, which led to tension between them. Jane felt frustrated by the pressure of being the caretaker. She faced the emotional challenge of seeing her husband, who used to be very independent, now relying on her for help. Their relationship also felt the strain of being in the public eye. With cameras always filming for Alaska: The Last Frontier, every part of their lives was constantly shown. While fans in the media showed a lot of support, the ongoing attention left them with little privacy or time to deal with their issues. Jane and Lee faced challenges in their relationship after an accident, even though they never openly acknowledged any problems. The difficulties brought them closer together in some ways, as they grew stronger from their experiences. The situation tested their relationship in unexpected ways, but they managed to come through it. The most dangerous workplaces on Earth can be tough to handle. At first, everything was hard to learn. The equipment was difficult to use, the conditions were harsh, and the team atmosphere could be stressful. However, Jane is known for taking on challenges. Slowly, she got used to the work, learned how to dredge efficiently, gained the respect of her coworkers, and showed her strong determination. Watching her adjust and succeed in such a tough setting is truly impressive. This is just the start of her gold mining experiences, or will she surprise us with another daring choice? With Jane, you can never be sure, and that's what makes her story thrilling.